This is about happy painting philosophy. I show you my first miniature that I painted ever now. A lovely goblin from the game StarQuest, painted with a toothpick and red shoes. I was super proud. This is how I paint now. Let's talk about the 6 things I already knew when I started miniature painting. Well, this is a video that starts with deep thinking. Thinking about the philosophy of my painting. And from this philosophy I want to tell you about 6 things I was pretty sure of when I started miniature painting. Usually these videos are about things I wish I would know before I started or something. This one is different. It's about things I knew. Well, before I tell you about the 6 things I knew, I have to tell you a little bit about my story, where I started. In 2005, I was actually painting many armies on commissions as a side job, and wasn't that I wasn't really particularly taking part in the online community in forums or something. When I signed up in a forum, in a German forum called Tabletop World, and showed my stuff, which was basically good gaming stuff, I was very proud of, because I painted it, of course. We are all proud of what we painted. And there the story begins, my actual story. And looks better. And my story starts with someone, I don't tell any names here, but someone. In the meantime, we are good friends. But back then I didn't know the person, and he told me I'm doing everything wrong. Like, this is not right. So I have to follow this and this and this, and this is the way you blend, and this is the way you paint. And I myself, coming from a very creative background, like drawing and sketching and painting on canvas and paper and sketchbooks all the time, I was like, yeah, I might just paint gaming miniatures, but I don't want to follow this track that was presented to me. I didn't want to follow this track actually, and decided to raise a certain finger in that direction. Not visually, not verbally, just for myself, to decide one important step, which leads us to the number 1 thing I knew when I started professional miniature painting. Rule number 1 I knew when I was starting miniature painting through this situation. I will paint as much miniatures as I can to find out what my painting style is. Not following any rules. Of course, I was learning from tips and tricks, but mainly I thought, okay, I don't want to copy anyone. I want to find my own style. So I was actually painting the next 3 to 4 years. I was painting still a lot of commissions. I was painting about 350 to 400 figures a year. Not only armies, but also units, character models and everything. So I really intensified the experience of pushing through paint shops, different characters, different styles, different ways of approaches of painting. I was finding out a lot of things that weren't there yet. In 2008, 2009, I was discovering a wet and wet technique for me that fitted perfectly to my painting style. I found out about you can use tobacco for mushrooms. I found out about how to make blood strings with uhu glue. So many things I discovered in this area or in this time frame, because I was exploring. Exploration is a big part, and exploration of your own style can only happen when you paint as much as you can without much distraction. Second important point on the things I knew when I started miniature painting is that I knew from whom I wanted to learn from the most. Like, I decided who's my teacher. And my teacher, of course, I had many people that influenced me and inspired me and everything, but my main teacher is nature. Nature's rules of things you can observe when you paint. I mean, I I started to become an art teacher in art history and was very artsy all the time. And what I learned from that, from painting myself and learning about painting, is that everything you do while painting is you try to understand natural things about environment, on surfaces and everything, and light and shadow. And you learn to copy them with paint. That's actually the mastery of these things. I don't say I'm mastered anything. I'm still learning after all these years. And what I am very grateful of is that nature taught me so much, because I learned to see. Third and very important thing I knew when I was starting is that comparing myself to other journeys, like people who are on a different journey, like painting for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years or something, does not make sense. I will just feel bad. And I've been to places where I felt that. Why? Because I was comparing. But in the beginning, I knew that comparing doesn't make any sense. So this is really healthy. This is healthy on your own progress, on your own growth, to understand that comparing yourself will just lead to dark places. Dark places in yourself, because you're not free enough, or you don't feel free enough to express yourself like the painter who you are. That's very, very important, I would say. Fourth point. I knew about the things that annoyed me while I was painting. So they were basically on my table. I got annoyed that my cup of water was too far away, that this tool that I use a lot wasn't in the reach. So I was annoyed by this brush because I killed it too fast, or I was annoyed by this color, I didn't like it, and I didn't like its properties. So what I knew was be in control. I always want to be in control. And so I was moving my cup of water closer to me. I was actually improving my light situation. I was optimizing my workspace. This is something I knew I had to do to paint more, you can say, and to have more fun while painting. The fifth thing I knew when I was starting painting is I have to make a decision. Decision about what kind of painter I am at the moment. You very often have to repeat this decision, but what I mean with it is, back then I was exploring. I wanted to explore painting. I wanted to explore the painter I am, or I would become. And you have to make the decision would you dive into competition painting, or would you go the way of exploring first before you enter the pit of who's the best and who has the longest brush. So I had to make this decision, and this was a very important decision. Back then I knew that there were so many other painters that are so far ahead in their journey, or like they're so far ahead in their journey compared to me, to myself, because I was actually beginning from gaming painting to start display painting. And I knew that I had to focus on something, and for me it was exploration. It wasn't competing. I wasn't able to compete back then. I can tell you, I have been through some, in the meantime, since 20 years I'm doing this now, I have been through some competitions and competition painting. I was judging many competitions worldwide in miniature painting, online and in person. So I've seen my share of it, and I personally always have to repeat this decision. I personally decided I'm not a competition painter. I enjoy most of what I do when I'm an exploring painter. So this was a very, very important decision I had to make, and I made, and I have to repeat to make it. Well, the last point is an easy one. I knew I always want to have fun while painting. As soon as fun disappears, I have to find out the reasons why I don't enjoy it anymore, or why fun is leaving me. And then I have to work against these things for myself, to keep myself healthy while I progress and grow. Easy one. As long as you don't have fun anymore, you're doing something wrong. Keep that in mind. Roman out.